Hey there, loners, kitty pets, and apprentices. This is your host, Jaron D Ratman from the future again. Just wanted to remind you that this is part 2 of our review of Warriors Into the Wild. If you haven't checked out part 1 yet, I strongly recommend you do so before you listen to this, because otherwise this episode is going to make no sense. I also figured I'd plug our socials here, since I believe by the time I'm recording this, the ones we mentioned in the original episode are outdated. You can find us on Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram at WarriorsPod. That's PAWD. Don't follow us on Twitter. We're not posting on Twitter anymore. I think I plugged Twitter in this episode. Don't go there. There's just a post that redirects you to Blue Sky. You can also email us at warriorspod, PAWD, @gmail.com if you have comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, thinly veiled threats, whatever you'd like. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode.
Gather round, y'all people, let me tell you all a story of something I once loved when I was a child. It's a series of books that features a bunch of little feline creatures, and they live out there in the great old English wild. And it's all about cats, and they hunt and fight and spat, and they don't know words for things like people and cars. Now Jaron, Mitchell, and Toasty, your creators and co-hosties, are gonna tell you all about it, and then we can all be stars. They're gonna tell you all about it, and then we can all be stars.
I think that the next big plot event is, and I should say, I guess, I read the book the first time, and then the second time I listened to the audiobook on Audible. Oh. And that was just this morning.
Audible.
I started at 6. I started at like 6:30 a.m. and I listened to the whole thing up until we started recording this afternoon. So
that's not
it's all
very.
By Audible. No, it's all very very fresh for me.
I wish we were sponsored by Audible.
Also, the audiobook is fantastic. The person reading it does a unique voice for every cat. And they do growls and meows.
Oh
with
their my god!
They put their whole soul into it. They're going and stuff.
I
and
gotta
it's really
get
fantastic.
it. I gotta get it on this and recommend it to all my friends, because I have some friends at school who would love that.
Yeah, but then this next thing. So they just got back from the meeting at the
So the Firepaw runs back. He talks to Yellowfang. He sort of asks like. He sort of has a short conversation with Yellowfang about, like, are you really gonna, like... Yeah, it's like are you gonna betray us? No. kind of conversation.
He double checks.
Yeah.
In fact, Yellowfang says, do you think I would? And Firepaw says, of course not. And Yellowfang's like, thank you for the trust. Like, yeah. Which I love that type of moment. That's a very classic type of moment.
It's a very sweet moment of, like, would you really harm our kits? And Yellowfang's like, do you think I would harm your kits? And Firepaw's like, no, I really don't.
Yeah.
It's nice that, like, Firepaw isn't, like, naively positive and trusting of everyone. Like, he trusts them, but based on merits and, you know, his own understanding of the character.
Like we said before, he built a very friendly rapport with Yellowfang over the course of his punishment.
But he, like, cares about the clan so much, he's gonna double check. He'll ask her politely if she's gonna kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, don't betray us.
Like if you did, it would make me really sad. Just so you know.
So the rest of the clan gets back, and Tigerclaw's instantly like, "We gotta kill her, or we gotta do something." Because he sucks. Yeah, and Blue Star is the mediator here, where Blue Star, they end up having like Firepaw just keep an eye on Yellowfang in some way, or.
I don't think so, no.
I think that the main takeaway from that event is Blue Star is reasserting that Blue Star is like a positive force, because it becomes important later in the books. Blue Star simply just says like, no cat will be harmed while they are on Stark, like ThunderClan land. Saying that even though Yellowfang is, oh my god, the cat names, you guys, I'm losing my mind. Even though Yellowfang is like still an unknown entity, like they will not come to harm when they have done nothing wrong. Yeah, and I think that I'm pretty sure they all just move on from that.
I think so, yeah.
Blue Star reaffirms that they're not going to answer to ShadowClan's demands, and announces that she is going to go to the Moonstone to convene with StarClan about what to do.
Mothermouth.
Which is how this is our introduction to the Moonstone, which is like the peak of the clan spirituality. It's where the leaders go to convene with their ancestors for counsel or whatever, prophecy, anything that is important at that time. Firepaw asks Greypaw about it, and Greypaw explains it. It's also where they introduced the concept of the leaders having 9 lives, which I didn't remember until it comes back up later, and I was just like, wow, they really casually introduced the concept of Blue Star dying and then being okay. But no, it is set up here that when a leader dies, the deputy goes to the Moonstone, and StarClan bequeaths them their new name and their 9 lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's set up that, like, to become a leader, you have to spend a night with the Moonstone, and, like, dream and convene with the StarClan ancestors. Do we want to talk about the journey beforehand before we get into the Moonstone itself, or...?
Yeah, the journey there is not super important, except that Firepaw gets more time to be crushing on Spotted Leaf and building the lore of all of this intense herbal medicine that cats can use. They've got poultices for wounds. They've got herbs to make you not hungry. These cats are fucking smart, and they don't know what a fucking car is.
Yeah, and like on the way there, they have to like properly cross the Thunder Path, which It said that one of the people in the car swerves to nearly hit Firepaw, like, on purpose, it seems.
It's hard to understand. On my second listen, I also was like, are they implying that this person saw a cat on the side of the road and tried to hit them? It seems like that's what they're implying, which is a wild thing. Terrible person, and I see why they hate 2-legs in this universe.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Now that's a wretched 2-legs.
That's a wretched 2-legs. And then they, like, make it to the Mothermouth, which is just the cave entrance, we should say.
Yeah, it's just the entrance of a cave.
It's just a cave.
Oh, wait. I need to mention something about the Thunderpath. Tigerclaw high-key tries to kill Ravenpaw on the Thunderpath.
That's true.
Tigerclaw tells him to go, Ravenpaw hesitates for a moment, and then the monster runs by. So that was like the first note that I took, where I was like, oh, I should probably be taking notes for the podcast on this. Is that, like, Tigerclaw high-key tried to kill Ravenpaw there. Which is just, in case you didn't already think Tigerclaw was fucking evil.
He is not subtly evil, and only Firepaw sees it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Ravenpaw sees it, but Ravenpaw is really just a pushover and just, like,
he's like, what is he supposed to do about it?
Yeah, he's very like scared in the situation.
7 months old.
True.
He's just a little guy. And also, like, when you're going up against, like, a veteran warrior, who's gonna believe you versus the guy who has rapport with everyone in the clan?
Especially the other warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It makes for an interesting conflict in that way. Of this, like, it's the classic, like, the very trusted figure betraying the clan and no one believes the newbie. But it's really effective. There's a reason why it's a classic trope, because it works.
Yeah. And he does stuff in a way where, like, he could get away with saying it's an accident so he can keep his good reputation, which is just so interesting to see, like, the inner political conflicts of these cats.
Yeah,
like,
and I think one of the most important things about it in this first book in the series is, like, even to the end, we're never exactly clear why Tigerclaw is doing all this. We can make our own assumptions, but, like, it seems like he's just got some strange machinations going on, and it makes it way more interesting that there's still mystery behind it. And they don't just outright tell you what he wants.
It seems early on in the book, when the news comes that Redtail is killed and Lionheart is named as the deputy, Tigerclaw's really upset about it. So it seems from the beginning that his motivation is that he wants to lead ThunderClan. He wants to be the deputy because he wants to lead ThunderClan once Blue Star dies. Whether or not that's his full motivation, that's just an assumption that the readers led to make based on the information we're given. But we really have no insight into Tigerclaw's mind, especially with some of the lengths he goes to, assumedly.
It seems like Blue Star is the only cat he respects, so it's unclear whether or not he's going to, like, hurt Blue Star to get the clan position, or whether he's just going to be fine with Deputy until she passes.
Yeah. It's unclear. I mean, I guess we should talk about Mothermouth first, but
Yeah.
what happens in the cornfield is like very vaguely, like it's unclear whether or not Tigerclaw was part of intentionally making Blue Star lose a life there or not. Like it seems like he's not particularly upset about it. Like, and it's difficult to intuit whether or not he was part of the plan.
We should probably get to that in a second.
Yeah, we should. Let's do Mothermouth. Mothermouth has some really interesting stuff that I'd
so
love
when
to
we
talk
get-
about.
When we get there, Blue Star's like, I'm going down, Firepaw and Tigerclaw are coming with me. The rest of you clowns can just, like, sit up here for a bit, I guess.
Which is hilarious. Super Chosen One stuff. Very funny that
Oh, yeah, for
Firepaw is
sure.
Well,
like
I mean, his
being
name is
honored in these
Firepaw,
ways.
and the prophecy is fire alone will save the clan. So Blue Star's like,
But-
Yeah.
this
yeah.
is the guy.
Yeah.
The favoritism
very-
is on full display.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, for sure. Then they make their way through this, like, dark cave, and Firepaw is just following Blue Star, literally blind, like, hoping they're going the right direction by following her scent and sound.
Yeah,
which
it's
is-
a very cool moment.
It is, yeah. Because it shows how much faith he has in Blue Star and her leadership, and how much he trusts her.
Yeah, and it's a very implicit show of wisdom on Blue Star's part that Blue Star knows how to navigate the cave, because Blue Star isn't using that
No.
scent. Blue Star just knows. Very tense. And yet another situation where Firepaw is talking about Tigerclaw being shady. Tigerclaw
Yeah,
is for some reason
Tigerclaw's really
scared of Mothermouth.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
really antsy about going to the Moonstone. For whatever reason, Blue Star kind of explains it as like, you know, he's strong as a warrior, but it takes a different kind of strength to approach like the spiritual aspect of the clan life, which is an interesting take. I think
Yeah.
he
Like, I was gonna say,
is suspicious
does he
that
run
Star
away?
Clan knows what he's up to. And is
Yes, exactly.
Maybe worried that Blue Star's gonna catch on.
It's that good old Catholic guilt. But I've been waiting the entire podcast for that one.
I was gonna ask how long you had that one, just in your
Yeah,
back
ever
pocket.
since I
Weeks.
read the book.
I was gonna say, does Tigerclaw run away before or after the Moonstone lights up? Does he
After.
get after? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, they get down
Tigerclaw
there-
flees back to the entrance before they properly approach the Moonstone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the Moonstone, it's called the Moonstone because once the moon reaches its highest point, it like lights up the entire cave. How it does is obviously not explained. It's supposed to be like magical, I think.
It sounds
Yeah,
incredible. I want to go here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, Tigerclaw is a little bitch and runs away, and we're just left with Blue Star, who just kind of lays next to the stone. Like, it's not the most exciting series of events. And Firepaw just sits there and watches her.
Yeah. Firepaw. Chad Firepaw has the gall to look at the Moonstone and wonder about its mystery while Tigerclaw, the coward, runs away.
I forgot something. The night before they leave, Firepaw has another dream.
Yes,
And
another
this-
prophetic dream.
Oh.
He has another prophetic dream. And this one, he's imagining, like, ThunderClan warriors, like, running away, I think, and shadowy figures following them.
Yes, and he sees
just-
the light. What he sees, what he eventually discovers is the light of the Moonstone in his
Yes.
dream, and he hears a terrible howl that he, in his dream, after waking up, realizes is Greypaw's howl. And so he's going through this whole process with the Mothermouth, thinking about this, and it's brought up when he finally sees the Moonstone that that's the light from his dream, and he's like, "Oh no, is the rest of it gonna come true too?"
Yeah. I'm like, the more spiritual aspect is just interesting to me because I'm like, is this actual, like, magic going on, or is this just, like, Cat's understanding of how the world works? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Do they
Yeah, and
actually get 9 lives, or...
I think that the books become way more interesting if you assume that that's all true and that there is some magic inherent in their spirituality and that they do get 9 lives and that there are real prophetic dreams and that the Moonstone is... whether you want to go the route of there are regular cats in this world and then there are warrior cats and the Moonstone is some sort of, like, I don't know, radioactive thing that makes them all mutant spiritual cats or whatever. It doesn't matter what you think the reasoning is. I think that it's way more fun if you're like, oh yeah, the leaders really have 9 lives and they really can speak to their elders and their ancestors And I think that it's supported by the authors because of how much they've been supportive of the idea that it's a fantasy world. As much as it mimics like real cats, it is also a fantasy world.
I do know the answers to some of those questions, but I'll refrain from giving them. As a Legacy fan, I do know the answers to those questions.
I can't wait for the third book where they're like, "This is all bullshit. Actually, the whole StarClan thing is a lie, and we're lying to you."
Yeah, the second book, Blue Star turns around and is like, "I made it up."
Yeah.
No, there are answers to those questions, and they come up much later on in the series, but we don't have to dwell on that. It is cool to think about, though, and that's something I remember as a kid thinking, like, is this all real, or is this just coincidence? Is this just, I had a dream and then parts of it came true, versus I was beamed a prophecy into my brain by my dead ancestor cats.
Yeah.
But it is also implied that, like, the only people that can have the spiritual connection are the warrior cats themselves, and having warrior's blood, that's, like, a whole thing. So it is interesting that Firepaw, our chosen one, can connect to this. Yeah. And I am wondering if maybe he does have warrior's blood that we don't know about, or if he is just a chosen one.
Yeah. I don't know if he has warrior's blood, or if warrior blood is like a fake thing that warriors make up, and all cats have warrior blood.
It's a state of mind. You have the blood of warriors running through your veins.
You're a warrior, Firepaw.
But at the Moonstone, after what feels like ages to Firepaw, Blue Star suddenly is very agitated and says, "We have to go back to the clan."
Yeah.
Yes.
She is as panicked as she gets as, like, a wise elder.
Yeah, which is, seeing how, even, like, with the absence of Wind Clan at the Four Trees and the potential conspiracy with Yellowfang, she was always very calm and collected, but then at this moment, she's not, which it strikes directly into you as a reader of, like, something's about to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been told that that the reason that Blue Star came is to ask the StarClan for guidance, and we know that when you sleep next to the Moonstone, you have prophetic dreams. And so we're like, oh god, that means it's a bad prophecy. So you kind of understand what to expect, especially because Firepaw just had a very similar thing happen to them. And so there's a very stressful scene next where they're headed back very quickly, as fast as they can, through the same way that they got to Mothermouth, through all the other clans' territories, which is already a dangerous journey. And this is one of my favorite parts of the book because it really feels like it stretches the world building. And I love situations in world building where you are made to feel like you don't get the whole picture, right? Where there are parts of it that you don't understand. And whether that's in like small ways where it's like, I know how ThunderClan works, but I don't know how RiverClan works, right? Which is like a smaller version of this, versus I don't know what life is like past the boundary of these clans. And this is part of that where like we meet our first loner. They're on their way back. A loner is a cat who's not a kitty pet, a two-leg pet, or a clan member. They just live by themselves and fend for themselves. And we also have the threat of dogs owned by a two-leg that like are shown to be, real danger that they don't even want to mess with if they don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Barley the loner cat gives them a heads up that the two legs unchain their dogs at night, so they should just skirt around the cornfield, into the cornfield to avoid them altogether.
Yes.
There are some, like, underlying large threats that they establish in this book, and, like, the main threats are, like, badgers, foxes, just basically bigger wild animals that the cats have effectively no chance against. And the dogs are one of those. That like you think about a dog and a cat and how much bigger a dog is from a cat.
Yeah, and they also set up. I don't remember any of this being part of anything I ever saw online or in discussion, but they also set up what seems like a lot of stuff to do with like environmentalism and the dangers of like human vehicles in the forest and the ways that they hurt them and things like that.
That is something that comes up a lot in this series.
Yes, and I'm excited to get into that.
Yeah, it becomes a pretty major element of future installments that I won't spoil too much, but you do have, it doesn't get abandoned. You do have something to look forward there.
Yeah, I can't wait for the eco-terrorist cats.
Yeah, that was like They did set that up in the first couple chapters of the book with, like, the loggers and just humans taking more and more of their territory, which is why they're struggling with hunting and getting enough food for the clans.
Yeah. And you never, like, you don't see a lot of two legs, but you always kind of understand their presence in the forest.
They're always kind of there.
Mm-hmm. Their influence is always felt by the way that they constrict the cat's territories. Yeah. And even the danger they pose on the cat's territories with the thunder path and the logging machines and stuff.
Yeah. But on the way back, because they have to skirt around the dog, they go through a cornfield. And in what's, like, even though, like, the cats fighting, honestly, a lot of the time when the cats are fighting in the book and it's described, I'm always like, yeah, cats, they're fighting. They be fighting. And it doesn't really have much of an effect on me. But the way that they describe the rats in this scene, they get ambushed by rats, and it's really
so
harrowing.
Scary.
It's really scary.
Yeah. That was, like, the first time in the book where I'm like, oh, shit, they might not make it out of this one.
Like, yeah. And
it's, like, a pretty brief fight, but, like, all of it, it's kind of harrowing. Like,
yeah, because there are a lot of rats. They describe it as being like being pinned down by multiple rats, being like buried in them. Like each cat has like 3 or 4 or 5, depending on which cat it is. Rats like tearing into them, and they have such small, sharp fangs that it's like being pierced with needles, and it's incredibly painful. And they're like dragging them back down into their holes and stuff.
Yeah.
It comes out of nowhere too, so it's very scary. They're already in a tense situation, and this is where the big info drops. I think this is where the first time that we're told about it, that Blue Star has 9 lives, because Blue Star gets really fucked up by these rats.
Yeah, Blue Star dies.
Blue Star fully dies. Yeah. These rats kill Blue Star, and everybody's like, oh shit. They just watch her for like a while until she wakes up again and is like, I'm fine. I lost one of my 9 lives. And as a reader, I was like, because I also did not remember that was a thing.
It's a really throwaway line when they introduced the Moonstone about the leaders having 9 lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I hate about Tigerclaw here is he immediately goes, Barley sent us into a trap. He does not think for any second that these rats have independent thought. Like,
like, these rats are in cahoots with Barley. Like, what? What are you talking about, dude?
They don't really clarify in the rest of the book whether or not other animals have consciousness and can be communicated with. Like they imply,
they must, right?
They imply, the only time that they imply it is they say foxes, like, look like a dog, act like a cat. And to say act like a cat, I'm not sure if they mean like are sly when you interact with them, or simply like are sneaky, right? It's hard to tell if they mean that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like they acknowledge consciousness in mice and rabbits and squirrels especially. But who's to say if other predator animals have consciousness?
I think they generally let prey animals. We don't want to perceive them as creatures with thoughts and feelings, because then you'd feel bad at the amount they killed. But when it comes to like larger predator animals, they're shown to have like a consciousness of some sort because they're like the enemy. Right. And they have to have some conscious thought to be killing the warrior clads who are smart.
Yes. And because of that, we can assume that rats do not have a consciousness in this world, because some cats do eat rats. Not all of them, but some cats do eat rats.
It seems like the rats have more of a hive mind thing going on.
Yeah,
They have some thought, but not to the same level.
They have aggression, whereas most of the prey doesn't have aggression.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so they're in a rush to get back, but then they just have to like watch Blue Star lie dead on the ground for, in this world, what could have been an hour. It's hard to tell. They say they waited and watched until the sun had climbed in the sky, and then Blue Star finally wakes up.
In my notes, I have, where are they getting all these cobwebs?
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you're unfamiliar, they use cobwebs to stop bleeding, but like they're constantly finding these things. Where are they getting them?
The spiders keep making more.
Yeah,
like,
they should.
Why wouldn't they?
I want to introduce
Cat CVS. Like...
Yeah, I'm going to introduce my new segment to this show, which is pitching inventions to these cats. We'll call it Cat Tank, I guess. Here, cats. I have for you the idea that you should maybe like domesticate some spiders or something.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, like, if you have ever considered that if you want more food, more mice, if you want more cobwebs, get some of those bad boys and just have them live in your camp. Like, you don't have to kill all of them. Like, collect the cobwebs, they'll make more. Let the mice breed, you'll get more mice. You know, I'm all
Let's
here. I'm
introduce
all here
cats
for
to
these.
farming.
I'm
Yeah.
all here for agriculture amongst these cats. I really think that the next step for these cats with consciousness is industrialization. I think we should get them behind the factory line.
Maybe we should get these
We need to
cats to
introduce
put
them
on
to
clothes
factories.
and start working
Yes.
human jobs.
I need them to have the idea of shame and covering yourself.
I'm willing to
That
offer.
way we don't have to look at fucking patch belt anymore.
Yeah.
I'm willing to offer cats a 70% cut of all of the cobwebs I find for
Yes,
this idea.
exactly. Anyway, I just think that these cats are smart, but we are smarter humans, and we could offer them a lot if we give them some ideas for inventions.
Look at these
we're
dumbass
so,
cats living in the woods. I'm so
We're
much
like
smarter
crouching
than
down
them.
next to their camp, just like, listen,
Listen,
I have
listen.
a pack of Band-Aids.
Yeah, you are gonna love these things.
Introducing the cats to the local Walgreens.
Yeah,
Here's
You
my
can go buy
rewards card at Walgreens.
antiseptic
I've
and
given you-
Band-Aids, and
I've entered your phone number for a CVS rewards card.
you can even use the receipts to like pad your nests or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
holy
true.
shit.
For their dirt.
For
Yeah.
their dirt.
So they finally make it back to fucking camp, and shit has been going down. It turns out that this prophetic dream that Blue Star had, 100% correct. Where do you know what happens next, Jaren? I'm starting to lose the trail.
They come back and Shadow Clan is invaded.
yeah.
Shadow Clan is
The
invaded, yes.
warriors who are still in the clan, which is, everyone except for the 5 who went to Moonstone, they're all fighting off Shadow Clan, which I believe the battle is it headed by the leader or is it headed by the deputy?
Headed by the deputy. Blackfoot is there, but Broken Star is not.
Yeah, I'm like, isn't Blackfoot, like, fucking with the kids, though? I don't even know if he's a part of the main battle.
I imagine
he goes
that-
after the kits while the rest of the warriors are fighting.
Right. I imagine
Yeah.
that he probably did some fighting. Like, it's a hectic battle scene. It's the first time, I think, that we get a real taste of, like, what a battle between clans can be like, because the ones that
Yeah.
we've seen touches of haven't been very, like, full-fledged. It's like, in traditional battle scene, like, style, it is very hectic. You don't see everything that's going on. You get bits and pieces. You get descriptions of cats that you've never even heard of, like, battling with cats you've never even heard of. And Firepaw sees Blackfoot is fucking with the kits.
Blackfoot
Tries to go
kills
stop
one of
Blackfoot.
the elders. And then
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
because one of the elders was guarding the kits. So Blackfoot kills one of the elders and then starts going for the kits. This guy, like, has got no, like, ideals. He will just go for anything.
Yeah.
No.
He is described as being gigantic also. He's a really large Tom. And they say that all the time, so it's kind of hard to know comparatively, like, who's really large and who's actually really large, Basically,
Is he
anybody
like
they
a
want to
Maine
be a
Coon,
strong
or-
warrior is really large.
Yeah.
But Firepaw's like, I gotta stop this guy. So he's, like, gonna go tackle Blackfoot, and then he gets distracted by a different, like, a tabby queen or something from Shadow Clan jumps on his back, and by the time that he's done dealing with this cat, Blackfoot is gone, and he assumes that Blackfoot's in the nursery. And this is a great moment. He, like, rushes over there, and he's like, no, the kits, no. And he busts in, and Yellowfang is there, and all the kits are safe.
Yeah.
And Yellowfang has protected the kits in a wild move for Yellowfang, doing the opposite of what everybody expects. Yellowfang has protected the kits from Blackfoot.
I think she's like, I've got the kids, you go take care of
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
It really is a beautiful moment that, like,
It is.
she fought off the deputy of her former clan to protect Thunder Clan kits.
Right. She says I've known him since he was young. He's strong, but he's not a quick thinker, which is very funny. Talking about Blackfoot.
Absolutely roasted.
But this battle sort of winds down. That's really the major focal point of during the battle. But after the battle winds down, Lionheart is gravely wounded and is with Spotted Leaf. But it's not looking good, and eventually he passes away. So a second
Yeah.
ThunderClan deputy has died.
In a very short period of time. So far, it's like been like a couple moons.
It's been a couple
months.
moons, because,
I think maybe
yeah.
3.
There was a 3-moon time skip at some point, so like it's been a bit more. I don't know, like
It's been maybe like
4
half,
months, maybe.
maybe a little less than half a year.
Yeah, I'd say it's no more than 6 months for sure.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, a while for cats, because they start training at 6 months.
Sorry, it was a 2-moon time skip. My apologies.
How dare you, honestly.
I know.
The lore is the most important part of this book. The time frame.
Oh, yeah.
All of it.
Wait,
Everyone is following along so intensely. taking notes for their book report, and now they've got to rewrite that.
Yeah, they wrote in their book
4
report
months,
3
scratch
months
that out.
times.
5 months, scratch that out.
Yeah.
7
and they're
months,
giving their
scratch that out.
presentation. They're going to be saying out loud 3, I mean 2, I mean 4.
They actually have us, like, they have, like, a secret headset on right now, and they're just listening to us and saying everything we're saying.
Yeah, and their teacher's like, why did you say that part? Why would
Like,
you say
don't
that part?
swear
I know
in
what's
my
going
classroom.
on now. Yeah.
Like, what's Catholic guilt?
How do you know what that is? You're 7.
No, the teacher would say A+ for joke. A+.
Yeah.
Man, I wish my jokes got me good grades in school.
Ugh.
Yeah, my
They
jokes mostly
absolutely
got
did
me
not.
demerits.
Yeah.
So Lionheart is dead. Greypaw is devastated.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's devastated. This is the second deputy they've lost in such a short time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were 2 deaths in the battle, and one of them being a deputy was clearly very tragic for everyone.
And basically, as soon as they leave Mothermouth is the part of the book we're talking about where it really doesn't slow down. It's like the last 100 chapters.
Oh, yes.
And like things just keep on happening. It's tense and suspenseful this whole time.
I think, like, from the meeting onwards, I, like, could not put the book down.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me
I
too.
think that, like, I had read everything up through the end of the Fortrees meeting in one batch, and then I took a break for a while, and then I picked it back up and I read the rest in a single night.
Yeah.
It seems a little bit silly to say about the cat book, not to, like, demerit this book and its qualities, but it really does just, like, suck you in with all of the different
it's-
layers of conflict. Because, like, something we didn't mention on the way back from the Moonstone, the 3 apprentices talk about Tigerclaw and about, he comes out of the cave and all he says is, I wanted to make sure you guys were still guarding the entrance. He doesn't, like, nothing
He's
that would
lying.
indicate how freaked out he really was. And so they sort of talk about him while they're on the way back before they run into Barley. So, like, that conflict is still escalating and is about to come to a head. During the conflict, with Shadow Clan and, Blue Star, like, what Blue Star was so freaked out about, it all just, like, it all builds and converges so quickly in the end of this book that it's hard to put down.
I was not expecting to get as sucked into the book as I did, because I was like, this won't have an effect on me, I'm a grown man. And then you're like, I can't put the book down.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh
Grown-ass
wait, I
man
forgot. I
sitting
love
in bed
cats.
until midnight
Yeah.
reading Warriors.
I'm like, suddenly I'm in middle school again, even though I didn't read this in middle school.
On my 4 hours of driving this morning, listening to the audiobook on 1.5 times speed, being like, oh, this is even better the second time. Yeah, and the when Lionheart's death really hits Greypaw because Lionheart was Greypaw's mentor, and so that's the scream that Firepaw heard in his dream, and then all 3 parts of his dream have come true: the Moonstone, the shadowy figures chasing ThunderClan cats, and the scream. And at this point in the book, I'm like, okay, so when's Firepaw gonna be allowed to have prophetic dreams and stuff? He's obviously the chosen one. He's obviously got some connection to the stars. He's gonna become a great leader or something.
He's Mr. Man or whatever.
Yeah, he's the guy. And Tigerclaw, during the morning rituals for Lionheart, they're supposed to be like good buddies. Tigerclaw comes to share tongues for the last time. Sharing tongues, by the way, is when they lick each other. I love that they call it that.
It's a very sweet little thing that they set up pretty early on, that, like, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, the Warriors all come back and share tongues, and they just kind of talk and hang out for a while, and it's a part of their
Yeah.
ritual.
Grooming is a social thing for cats, and so
Yep.
they do that in real life, so makes sense that it is a part of warrior life.
It's a very
It's
sweet
very cute.
A thing that they do.
And when a cat dies, they're supposed to share tongues with the cats closest to them one last time. And Tigerclaw comes over to share tongues with Lionheart, and he doesn't say anything. He doesn't
No,
He does.
it's-
He's just silent.
It's
It's
like the first
menacing.
like cold-hearted moment.
It's the first. It's like from that point on, Tigerheart is really truly like villainous.
Oh, and it says,
Yeah.
I'm actually on this page right now, it says, Firepaw waited to hear what words he would share with his warrior friend, but Tigerclaw remained silent. To Firepaw's confusion, the Dark Tabby's eyes seemed to be fixed on Ravenpaw rather than the fallen deputy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is spooky.
Spooky stuff. Tigerclaw is fucked up.
Tigerclaw is fucked up, and he continues to be fucked up through the end of the book. Yeah.
Yeah.
From here on out,
He's just the worst after this. He's already not great, but
what happens after this?
On that note, Blue Star names Tigerclaw as their new deputy.
Yes.
Yay!
Good for him.
Everybody expects it. Everybody knows it's gonna happen. Yet again,
Nobody's
only
excited.
10 minutes after somebody dies.
Yeah, they move quickly.
And they gotta.
Well, shit, Shadow Clan might come back. You gotta have somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
After Blue Star names this Ravenpaw, it's like, this is a mistake. This shouldn't happen. He should never be named deputy. And Firepaw pulls him aside, and Ravenpaw spills the beans that Tigerclaw killed Redtail. Just straight up confirms it. No subtlety, no antsiness anymore. Ravenpaw's just like, yeah, this happened.
And this part of the end of the book is the part that I'm like, what the fuck? Because Firepaw has been shown to be such like a thoughtful, caring person. And I understand that a lot of the end of the book is about us watching him trying to figure out what the right move is. But when he has confirmation from Ravenpaw that Tigerclaw killed Redtail and he doesn't like do anything with it until like he doesn't he doesn't do anything with it for the entire book. Like he holds on to the secret.
I think he wants to, but he has to get Blue Star alone. And from that point on, Tigerclaw had appointed Blue Star guards to sit with her.
Yes.
So it was hard to get her alone.
And the two guards that Tigerclaw points to Blue Star are two warriors that he has a conversation with about Ravenpaw, where Tigerclaw tells them that Ravenpaw ran off and alerted Shadow Clan that Blue Star and Tigerclaw were gone and that they should come attack the camp. So he
Like, he's
straight
being
up
a traitor.
says, like, Ravenpaw does the thing that, let's be honest, Tigerclaw probably did.
Yes.
Tigerclaw's almost certainly the reason why Shadow Clan invaded, but he pins it on Ravenpaw and gives that information to two of the eldest warriors. So now we have
they're
like
immediately
three
just, like-
very well trusted figures who are in on this Ravenpaw hate cult.
They're just immediately on board with it, too. They're like, yeah, that dude sucks. We always thought he was a little weird.
Yeah.
Also,
they're really mean to him for no reason.
At some point in here, Yellowfang has also made a fully fledged Thunder
Yes,
Clan.
yes.
Remember?
Don't
Oh, that's
skip over
directly after protecting the kits. Yes.
Yes, which is, I love Yellowfang. She's one of my
Yellowfang
favorite
is a
characters
wonderful
from this book.
character. I will
I
tell
was
you,
so happy.
2 of the 5 main writers say Yellowfang is one of their favorite characters.
Yellowfang's
I
my
read a lot
favorite
of-
character in this book. I love Yellowfang.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I'm
surprises me that I didn't remember her at all from reading these books as a kid. I do
remembered
remember
the
more
name,
about the
but-
later series because, I read those when I was a little bit older, so the memories are a little bit more formative. But, it is a little bit wild to me that, Yellowfang is such an important standout character in this book that I just remembered nothing about.
I mean, there's got to be so many more names in the rest of these books. I don't blame them in
That's
the
true.
slightest.
Yeah,
we'll be
yeah.
on book 20. I have no fucking clue. We got to re-listen to the episode.
Yeah, we're gonna be on book 20, and I'll be like, Yellowfang who? Sorry, what?
I'll never forget you, Yellowfang. I'm on your side for the rest of
That sounds like
time.
somebody who would attack kits.
She must have done it. Let's kill her.
Yeah, call me Tigerclaw.
Yeah, so Yellowfang's appointed a warrior at the same time that Tigerclaw. It's the next day. Tigerclaw announces that he's going to have Darkstripe and Longtail act as Blue Star's guards. And then during that same meeting, Blue Star officially inducts Yellowfang as a proper member of ThunderClan, which she accepts.
Yeah.
When does Blue Star take Firepaw on as apprentice? Is it
It's
during
then
the same
also,
announcement?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
During the same announcement where they're like, now that we are so low on mentors, Darkstripe gets to be a mentor, taking over for Dustpaw? Yeah, I think Dustpaw.
Probably.
And, if you got a dark color, you're getting paired with another dark color cat. Sorry, guys. And Blue Star takes over Firepaw's training because before Firepaw was just kind of jumping between Lionheart and Tigerclaw.
Yeah, and now Lionheart is dead, so...
Yeah, favoritism still on fully on display.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You just get to be the apprentice of the best guy in the group.
Yeah, and everybody's very like basically the way that the plot circle for this book goes is it's like Firepaw is being hated on by the main cats. Something good happens to him, and now they're hating on him for the new thing. They're like, they just got over him being a kitty pet, and now they're like, you get to be fucking Blue Stars.
I don't care that something good happened to you. It should have happened to me instead.
Exactly.
But yeah, this is where Ravenpaw properly spills the beans. He alludes to it the first night, but after the next day's meeting, Ravenpaw tells Firepaw everything that happened, and Firepaw's like, I've got to tell Blue Star as soon as I can. Which he doesn't, because...
Yeah, he gets distracted by learning.
Yeah, he's still a fallible character. He's still young and excitable, and he does forget that important detail while he's training with Blue Star.
You know, he's just like us for real.
It's like, it's almost implied in my mind that Blue Star knows Firepaw has something to tell her, or that like Firepaw has something important going on, because Blue Star like makes space for Firepaw to get her alone by shirking her guards and saying, I don't need you. And because she has top command, you know, even though Tigerclaw wants her to have guards, like they listen to her and they don't guard her. Twice she tells the guards to bug off so that Firepaw can have alone time with her, and both times Firepaw's like instantly forgets that he has a very important thing to try and tell Blue Star. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if Blue Star knows that and is just giving him grace, or if...
Like, the first time they're, like, doing training, and he gets distracted by the training, because Blue Star immediately just, like, pounces on him.
Yeah.
It's
like, pay attention, Firepaw.
A little bit frustrating, but, like, Firepaw is young still.
Yeah.
Like, we have to remember that he's still an apprentice. He's still young. He's also still new to the clan, so getting introduced and moving up more in the clan life is still, like, at the top of his mind. That's still excitable. So I can't get mad at him for, you know, making a mistake as a character. How dare he?
I think the second time, I can't remember exactly what she, like, talked with him about, but I think she was talking about Tigerclaw in a slightly positive manner, so I don't think
that's what
Firepaw thought that he could bring it up at that moment, especially with how, like, tumultuous the clan is at that time. I think he thought it was best to just try and take care of it himself, perhaps.
Does she also tell him that she lied about how many lives she has left?
Yes,
she tells him that.
She tells him that is she on her last life?
No,
she's on her 7th life.
She lost her 7th life, so she's on her 8th. So she'll have her 8th and her 9th. She has 2 more, including the one that she's on.
Which she doesn't tell Tigerclaw.
No, when she wakes up in the field after the rats, she tells them that she lost her 5th life.
Yes.
Assuming that she has 4 more. But she only actually has 2 more, which is, when it comes to leader, like half the amount of time that you thought you had with your leader is pretty big.
Yeah.
And the amount of trust that Blue Star places in Firepaw is very important for the I'm going to imagine the rest of the series and also the rest of the book. But that's really the only reason that it's frustrating that it doesn't tell her, is like, I feel like she'd listen. Like, she likes you, dude. You're cool. She thinks you're cool. She thinks you're smart. She tells you that you have what it takes to be a seriously great warrior. And you're like, my friends are in danger and I'm forgetting about it. But I get it. He's excited, you know, just like how he was so excited to eat a mouse.
He was so worried to put too much on her plate, I think. I think he was trying to be, like, polite about it but is ending up putting his friend in more danger than he wanted to.
Speaking of his friend being in danger, Tigerclaw sends Ravenpaw on a task to hunt in Shadow Clan territory, which is insane. Ravenpaw comes back and he's, like, obviously really antsy. He's, like, snapping at Firepaw when Firepaw, like, presses him for more details. Firepaw's like, why don't you tell Blue Star? And Ravenpaw's like, do you think she'd really believe me? Like, he's, like, really in a bad place.
Ravenpaw is painted as just being, like he's really struggling with all this. It kind of seems like he's given up. Like, he's just, like, consigned himself to his fate. And he's just hoping that he doesn't die, you know, but whatever happens to him.
He's stressed out of his gourd, that's
absolutely.
For sure.
He's stressed out of his little tiny cat Melon, you know?
Also, like, his mother has to be there, right? Can he not go tell his mom? Like,
the familial relationships in this, like, don't make any sense, but I guess...
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that cats often don't, like... I don't know if it just applies to house cats. This is something that I know is true of house cats, but I don't know if it's true of wild cats. House cats often don't, like, remember their family. Like, they know scent, but they don't, like, it doesn't play a super big role in their life. I'm not sure if that's true of all cats. That might be what's going on here. But it's never really brought up, so no matter what the case is, it's assumed that, like, he has nobody he can go to, except for, I guess, his friends in training.
Yeah,
like, in fairness, he could have been orphaned at some point. Like, cats die on a regular basis, so...
Yeah.
It doesn't seem much like any of the apprentices really have connections with their mothers or fathers. It seems more like they become a part of the greater clan family after they graduate from being kits, and then they're kind of just fellow clan members.
They definitely describe that mothers like look after their kids very, very protectively, but they don't seem to have like long-lasting familial relationships.
The thing
Which is a
about,
good
like,
thing. Go ahead, sorry.
Clans of cats in real life is they do like group take care of each other's kids. Like it is said like in the books that they take shifts of taking care of the kids, which is true in real life as well. So there's a chance they just don't know who their original mother was because they're taken care of essentially by the entire clan while growing up. So
you know what they say? It takes a clan. It takes
does.
a clan to raise a kid. And it's a good thing that there's no strong familiar relationships, because I gotta imagine the fact that nobody's ever going into other clan territory. There's gotta be some kind of inbred cats in this.
Oh no!
I mean, good thing they're getting some fresh blood with Firepaw in there. Yeah.
But Firepaw has this conversation with Bluestar where Bluestar confides in him about how many lives she truly has left. Immediately after this, chaos descends on the clan again.
Yes.
A Shadow Clan warrior has come in, and Spotted Tail has been killed. Spotted Leaf. My bad. Spotted Leaf has been killed. There's traces of a Shadow Clan warrior. A bunch of the kits are gone, and Yellowfang is gone. So everything explodes all at once.
Everybody, including Tigerclaw, assumes again that Yellowfang's to blame.
I was like heartbroken at Spotted Leaf's death. This was the first one that I was like, what the fuck? Because I thought it was setting up for her to be like Firepaw's mate, and I was like, she's not going anywhere. And then she's just dead. Like,
something that is important to know, I don't think it's ever mentioned in this book, but it is moving forward. The medicine cats don't have mates. They're celibate.
I think they do mention it in this book. I think that Yellowfang mentions it.
I'm like, I think it's briefly mentioned, but
I think Yellowfang mentions that she could never have her own kits.
Yes.
Because she was a medicine cat. But the medicines don't take mates, they don't have kits. They never become leaders, they can never become deputies. They're sort of a spiritual position, sort of like, a priest where a priest is sworn to celibacy. So are the medicine cats of the clans.
I presume it's so they're not busy with other things and can take care of other clans members at a moment's notice. Because, if you're, pregnant, you can't just drop everything when someone is sick.
Please, Toasty, about to kit.
About to kit. I apologize.
If you're with Kit. Immediately suspicion arises that Yellowfang killed Spotted Leaf, took off with the kits. But, certain members of the clan are not so quick to jump aboard that. And Bluestar sends Firepaw on a special mission to go tail Yellowfang and figure out what's going on.
It is important to mention that it is, storming at this point. And she's, sending Firepaw into the storm and telling Tigerclaw to stay back because of the storm, and that's how she is holding him back at this moment. Because otherwise, he would have already been marched right out of the camp on his way to find her.
She'd be dead.
Does he take both Greypaw and Ravenpaw with him, or just Ravenpaw?
Yes. He takes them both because he has a plan, and this is one of my favorite parts of the later book. It's such a cool plan. It's something that I did not expect at all from the book, and, it's very, a mature thing that they're doing.
So, after Bluestar tells him to go, he, overhears Tigerclaw or one of the other older warriors telling the, she-cats to be wary of Ravenpaw and that he's a traitor. And this is where he pivots and he's like, I need to help Ravenpaw now.
I can't wait to tell Bluestar.
Yeah, the she-cat, chases away Ravenpaw and hisses at him.
Ravenpaw has no time left at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he goes and gets Greypaw and Ravenpaw, and then, in a split second, he's like, we'll take him to Barley. That's the place he'll be safest right now.
We'll take him to be a loner near the Two Legs place and help him escape. I don't know if they decide this at the time. Yeah, I think I remember that they decided while they're deciding the plan, and then they tell everybody later when they return that Ravenpaw died on the mission with
they
them.
say at the end of this chapter, what if Tigerclaw comes looking for me? Firepaw says, he won't, I'll tell him you're dead. So they're going to fake Ravenpaw's death to protect him. It's so cool.
Such a sick moment.
It's so great.
It really caught me off guard, but it was so fucking cool. While reading, I was like, damn.
Such a great moment for Firepaw to, really take charge of the situation and solve both problems in one fell swoop of like, we're going to go figure out what's going on with Yellowfang, and we're going to get Ravenpaw the fuck out of here, because Ravenpaw's no longer safe in ThunderClan.
It's such a great moment of like, just such a good moment of camaraderie where he cares about his friend's safety, even if like this isn't the best option. He's like, I gotta get you out of there. It's such like a cool idea. It's not like it's not pulling any punches. It's like, you are gonna be killed, or we can pretend you're dead already. Like, it's no wonder everybody was obsessed with these books.
It's
this
a
whole
really
second half of this book,
layered
I was like, this is good. This is genuinely good.
I love how Firepaw treats everyone else in the clan, like his relationship with Ravenpaw and Greypaw, and I love how he treated Spotted Leaf as well, because I felt like some of the other warriors looked down on medicine cats for some reason, even though they're doing like the hardest work most of the time.
They're like arguably the second most important cat to the clan.
Yeah,
like the leader, and then the medicine cat, and then the deputy.
I'm like, I just love how much care and kindness he has for everyone, not just the strong or the useful.
And not even just, like, the cats who are nice to him. Because he still had that, affection towards Yellowfang, who wasn't nice to him right away.
Yeah.
He really is, like, impartial to everyone until they've done something to prove that he shouldn't be anymore. Like Tigerclaw.
The dusty old bitch?
Dusty old bitch. I loved this part of the book. I could not wait to talk about this. Because, like, this level of, like, conspiracy and planning and deception wasn't something I expected going into this book. I was expecting, like, a pretty simple, straightforward traitor reveal story made for kids, but this, like, doesn't even get resolved by the end of the book. The resolution to the Ravenpaw Tigerclaw conspiracy plotline is Ravenpaw's dead.
I'm
not
so
really,
excited to see what happens in the next books. Like what Ravenclaw is up to, how they keep in contact if they do, like what Tigerclaw is up to still. It's really exciting. It's very well storylined, and a lot of that comes from, I think, the fact that the way that the books are written is with an overarching storyline. I can get into this more at the end if we prefer, or I can do it all right now.
You can talk about it now, since we're sort of
since we're about to
do
the climax. I think maybe right before the climax is a good time to do it. Yeah. I think a lot of the reason that it works out so well in the cliffhangers and the excitement for the next book is because the way that it's written is with an overarching storyline controlled by Victoria Holmes, the world's creator, and then the writing was given off to specific writers, and then from that point on, Holmes only had an editorial voice and making sure that the pseudonym voice Aaron Hunter came through in all the books. The first two books, or I guess I'll from Britannica Kids Edition. If you're a kid and you really like warrior cats, you can go look at the Britannica Kids Edition on Aaron Hunter. It's a pseudonym for at least 4 writers. It says on there, but at this point it's more like 7. And we'll get to all the other ones someday. I'm very interested in making sure that we know who each book was specifically written by as we go through these. At least 4 writers: Sherith Baldry, Kate Carey, Tweed Sutherland, and Victoria Holmes. Victoria Holmes being the creator, and they were responsible for keeping the storylines and world building consistent as the books move forward, but all of the actual writing that we're reading was done by Baldry, Carey, and Sutherland mainly, especially in these early books. They're all from England. I mentioned that earlier. We'll move past that, though. And all of them have done solo writing on the side. I wanted to mention that specifically so that I could bring up that Holmes has written a solo book called Heart of Fire, which I find very, very funny, considering that there's already a Heart of Fire in this series. It was written after this started to come out. There's actually a lot of interviews and stuff you can find online, self-written introductions from each of these authors, and I didn't expect all of this because when I was a kid, I never knew that Aaron Hunter wasn't one person, and so I was very surprised that they were, let alone that it was readily available information online. For instance, from the Warrior Cats website's Meet Aaron Hunter page, under Victoria Holmes' own self-written introduction, here's something that I found very funny. I grew up on a farm and love all animals, including cats, but most especially dogs and horses. This comes in very handy when I need to send cats to a sticky end. I'd have a lot more trouble killing off a dog or a horse.
Oh my god.
I know, right? I read that.
That's horrible.
That is not the only situation in which they're kind of wild about the way they talk about killing cats. But we'll get back to that in a minute.
Apparently, is so funny.
I know. Apparently, Kate Carey wrote this book. Kate Carey wrote this and the second book. And she must have been the first author that Holmes asked to work with because They wrote the first two, and then another person was brought on. Baldry was brought on after her. And from what I can tell online, Carrie does truly love cats. They have 3 of their own at the time of whenever they wrote this introduction. And I loved this quote from the same website. She says, "Even though they are soft kitty pets, I know that at night, while I'm tucked up in bed, they go out exploring a world all their own. Writing Warriors gives me the chance to imagine that world. I used to worry about my cats out alone in the dark, but the ThunderClan cats have taught me that there's nothing for them to fear, only adventures to be enjoyed." And that's a very sweet sentiment.
Very sweet.
Aw.
I don't quite agree with it because it's dangerous to let your cats out.
Yeah.
But it's still cute. Yeah.
What an interesting way to write a book series, I have
I
to
know,
say.
right?
That is
And
so fascinating to me.
here's one more fun from the Warrior Cats FAQ on the now archived warriorcats.com. The very last FAQ in the list is, "Why did you kill my favorite cat?" "Because the story needed the cat to die, tee-hee," is the first line of that response. And it goes on, but
That's
just to
a
watch...
very good answer.
I'm imagining a kid reading this, and they're like, "Whoa, man. You don't have to be so fragrant about it." Yeah, but I feel like because of the way that the story's written, with Victoria Holmes like creating the overarching storyline, like a lot of children's book series that like have really good sticking power have these elements of like plot threads between books, etc., and that requires knowing a lot about what's going to be happening before those books come out. And this book is obviously written with the intention of at least one sequel.
Yeah.
And that really just lends so much power to the plot elements where we're allowing space for mystery and things like that, which is important for children's literature, to respect a child's intelligence and ability to... And young adult literature, often does have these things, but it's still an important part of being able to respect a child's intelligence and ability to understand and appreciate intrigue and things like this. And it's one of the reasons that this book really feels like it holds up.
I'm like, it definitely really gives kids the space to ask questions and be
Yep.
curious about the world. Because I feel like a lot in real life, when kids ask questions, they're usually shot down, which I'm not a massive fan of.
Yeah,
but
I don't
like
like
this,
that either.
I like that this book lets you be curious, and even as adults, we're sitting here like, okay, but what about this thing, and is this thing real, and so on and so forth.
Yep. It's given a lot of love, for sure.
Yeah.
And
You
I'd
can
say...
tell it's made by people who respect children as people, if that makes any sense.
Not just as a demographic to sell a product to.
Yes.
Yeah. Many of the writers involved in the process, including Victoria Holmes, were involved in children's book writing or editing before they started working on this project. Most of them went to college, and then a few of them were also English teachers. A lot of them went to college for English, and a few of them were English teachers. Which I think it shows, it really comes through.
It does.
A very strong appreciation for
Yeah, the book never
this
feels
topic.
like it's talking down to the audience or over-explaining, or there's a little bit where like lots of characters are introduced all at once, which is maybe a little bit clunky by narrative standards, but
Well, this is also the first
yeah.
book, so like,
Yeah.
I assume it's going to take them a second to get into the groove of it.
Well,
Yeah.
growing up reading these books, I knew that Aaron Hunter was a pseudonym for multiple people, but I never knew about Victoria or the names of any of the other authors or the process by which these books were written. But it makes sense having like one specific mind at the forefront of organizing, editing this to make the books such a consistent product, such a consistent vision, and making it so it never feels disjointed, like it's multiple people writing a story.
Right. I'm looking forward to seeing when we get to book 3 if I, knowing
Can
these
tell.
things, can notice that there's a new writer. And if I can, it's probably only because I'm going in trying to do that. So it's still not a fault, but it's just interesting. I'm very interested in the process. Yeah.
Like, it never felt like I was reading someone else's work, reading through these books as a kid. And, that's also when I was a kid, so I wasn't very critical of that kind of thing. But
Exactly.
it's
So-
fascinating.
I still feel like you can tell, even as a kid. Like, there's different vibes to way different people write, and it can be hard to write the way other people do.
Yeah. A lot of, like, my first introductions to writing my own stories were writing, I guess you'd call them fan fictions because they took place in worlds that already existed, and I was just trying to copy the author's tone,
Just
I really have to
copywriting.
commend ghostwriters
Yep.
for like being able to copy other people's styles, because like I can't. No matter what I write, you can tell that I wrote it. Because just of certain words you use, your dialect, your pacing, so on, and I need
Well,
to
you should stop signing
forth.
your name at the bottom of everything you write, maybe.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So, like, I just think it's so cool that other writers can just mimic other people so easily. Well, not easily, I'll say. It's probably difficult, but it looks
Can do it at
easy.
all.
It's
Yeah.
something that, as like a student in music composition, that I'm gonna be delving into once I start taking more classes about, like, being able to recognize the styles of certain composers. Like, I have friends where they'll listen to a song from a musical by Stephen Sondheim, and they'll say, that sounds like Sondheim. And I can't hear those kinds of things, but it's interesting in a similar way to, like, think about being able to recognize and potentially mimic a certain artist's style in that way.
I'm like, yeah, I also draw as well as write, and it's definitely cool to see, like, fan works and stuff and be able to tell what their influence is, because sometimes you can be like, oh, they love Dragon Ball growing up, or they were super into Steven Universe, and you can see elements of other people in their work. And I think that's just the coolest part of art, is seeing what made them get to where they are now.
Yeah. All creative works are a mishmash of everything you love.
Mm-hmm.
Should we get to the climax
Yes,
of this?
let's
We
get
probably
to
should.
it.
Because it's intense. There's
It is
something
very
about
intense.
the idea of being a cat and being stuck in a thunderstorm that makes it so intense. Like, I can't. That would be
Yeah.
a lot, you know. Thunderstorms are already scary as a human.
Imagine how big raindrops are when you're that small. Like,
Yeah, they're at least twice as big.
yeah. So after they take Ravenpaw to Barley, which is like a pretty brief intermission, because honestly, all this shit happens in like 30 pages. It's very fast.
Yes, it's all going very quickly.
They like make their way to Shadow Clan territory because Firepaw can still smell Yellowfang a little bit, and they can. He thinks he can smell her, but then she ambushes them because
thinks-
she's better at sneaking up on them than
He's trying
he
to
is.
follow her trail, and he also smells kit blood, the blood of
Yeah.
kits. And he's like, no, there's no way that this is Yellowfang's fault. And he gets to the point where he gets to the place where he thought that he smelled them, like stopping and might find them. And there's nothing there. There's no kits. There's no Yellowfang. And Yellowfang ambushes them or jumps out and is like, oh, it's just you. And they have a conversation where Firepaw is like, please tell me you didn't take these kits. And Yellowfang's like, of course I didn't take the kits. God damn it. I thought we knew each other better than this. But the kits are actually gone. And who ran away with them? Do they know who? Just Shadow Clan just got them.
It was
I don't remember. Let me flip through the book.
It was a cat name. The audience is like, please just say a cat did it. We don't care.
hold on. I was somehow on the page, the correct page.
Clawface.
Clawface, one of Broken Star's
I found it at the
warriors,
exact same time.
took the kits.
Clawface. Of course it's Clawface. Ugly Snout, the evil cat.
Yellowfang lets us in on a lot of the dirt on Shadow Clan. That since Ragged Star, right?
Yep.
Since Ragged Star
Broken
died
Star's father, Ragged
and
Star.
Broken Star took over, Broken Star's been running this clan into the ground. He's been basically trying to like turn every warrior into a super warrior in the clan, starting the kits early on their training and killing them if they don't do well.
He starts training warriors at 3 months.
Yeah, which is half the age,
3-month-old
I
kittens.
believe.
Half the age.
I believe that in
And a
clan
lot of the
tradition, they
apprentices
start at
that-
6 months or 6 moons.
Yeah, a lot of the apprentices that they've been seeing around, that they're like, these are small apprentices, have been 3 or 4 moons. They aren't full apprentices, actually. And so everybody's suspicions have been correct.
And Broken Star, or Yellowfang reveals to us that Broken Star didn't get in trouble for killing these kits that he was trying to train because he lied and pinned the blame on her, which is why she was a rogue in the first place. She was chased out of the clan because everyone in the clan was led to believe that she's the reason those kits were killed. When in reality,
And
it
it's
was
really
Broken
heartbreaking.
Star. It really is, because she
yeah.
did nothing wrong throughout this whole
She
story.
did nothing wrong, and also it's implied that she had kits that she lost for
Yes.
unfortunate reasons when they were young. Like, she had her own actual kits that she lost, and
They never
it
get
weighs
into
heavily
that.
on her. They never get into it. They just imply that she was a mother but lost her kits. The whole familial relationship thing again, not sure how it works, but it's still sad. Still sad. And then to have on top of that to be blamed for the death of other people's kits, it really hits hard in this last moment. And Firepaw really asserts that he's on Yellowfang's side here when he asks her to trust him and asks for her help getting the kits back from Shadow Clan. And we get classic team-up montage type stuff coming up.
Yeah, he's like, we need to, like, get the kits back. And Yellowfang's like, I kind of have an idea. I could go talk to some of the elders and see if they would help us out.
Because turns out,
are you
none of these older cats love Broken Star. In fact, we kind of fucking hate him.
Yeah, there's kind of like a schism
because
in the clan between the cats who support Broken Star and the cats who don't, and Yellowfang suspects that it's a majority of cats who don't.
Because Broken Star forced the elders to live at the, like, edge of their clan, which is not where elders typically live in clan's life, so they're, like, cold and starving and not being treated well, even though they lived their warrior lives.
Yeah, and eating scraps and crow food. Is,
Yeah.
I think,
Awful.
crow food being, like, the carrion type
Broken
stuff.
Star's like the cartoonishly evil villain of this story.
Yes.
And is also revealed that he killed his father. Is that here?
I think that it's revealed
no,
during
that's-
the battle.
During the fight,
yeah,
yes,
it's
you're right.
revealed
You're
during
right.
the fight.
My bad. We can say it again for dramatic purposes.
And then Firepaw's
We'll
like,
get a clean take later.
I'm gonna go meet up with the ThunderClan cats that are, like, patrolling, and see if they will help us.
Yeah, he has to try and convince them to trust that Yellowfang has a plan and to follow him into enemy territory to rescue the kits. And a whole battle ensues.
He finds
where
White Storm. And White Storm
Yes.
is one of the first warriors he meets at the beginning of the book. So it's sort of like their connection comes full circle, which I think is really great. White Storm, like, instantly trusts Firepaw. He's like, lead the way,
Yeah.
I will help you. As soon as Firepaw explains what's
And-
going on. It's fantastic.
The rest of the cats trust White Storm, so they're like, cool, I guess this is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And then they meet up with Yellowfang and the elders, who do manage to sneak up on them again. And they're like, we'll pretend Yellowfang is a prisoner and lead her into the camp so we can start our attack internally, which
Classic
is very
move.
interesting.
Yeah. So the elders take Yellowfang into the camp, and some ThunderClan cats are waiting on a signal to attack also. And it
Yes.
goes off without a hitch, which is great. Love when the climax of a book goes off without a hitch. They fight this huge battle against Broken Star after a very evil villain speech. And Firepaw gets in a direct confrontation with Broken Star, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think then Yellowfang takes over and is like, this isn't your fight.
Yes. And Broken Star reveals in the fight with Yellowfang that he killed his own father, Ragged Star, to take over as leader. Which, there was already some nepotism going on there. If you made your son the deputy. And also,
Yep.
why does no other cat have a son? This is the only father-son relationship in the whole book.
Yellowfang also gets him to reveal in that fight that he killed the kits because
Yes.
she wanted to clear her own name.
And that makes her plan of having the rest of Shadow Clan turn on him really get put in motion, because they all hear that and they're like, come on, dude, you can't be this evil and leading the evil cat. The evil cats are evil because it's cool, not because we want to actually be evil. So they all chase him out, and I guess at this point in the book, it's assumed that he's going to be a loner, or he just no longer has support from the clan.
Yeah, he's chased out with his goons or whatever.
Oh, right, his direct goons.
Yeah, so I presume they're gonna come back to bite us in the ass later.
Yeah,
at
they'll
some
become
point.
some kind of
Literally.
rogue faction that will sow chaos throughout the rest of the story.
Because he hasn't even lost one life or whatever. So
Yeah.
I love that both the resolutions to both of these conflicts are just setting up for even bigger conflicts later. Because as sad as it is to see Ravenpaw leave this story, it's really exciting to think of whenever he comes back.
it feels resolved, but not quite. You can still feel that air of tension is there. It's resolved for now.
It's the best way to end a book that is going to have a sequel, is with some resolution, but not quite everything put in place. And they make it back with the kits, and very important, Spotted Leaf has passed, and they ask Blue Star asks Yellowfang if she would like to be the replacement medicine cat for ThunderClan, and Yellowfang says, I have found my new home here, this is where I belong now, and she accepts the role, which is a really touching moment, and
It's very sweet.
Firepaw is super glad that she's staying. They have such a wonderful relationship across the book. It's just very, emotionally intelligent, very well written, because it's not like they're instant friends, You know, they bicker, but they respect each other. And Firepaw slowly comes to realize how much he respects Yellowfang. It's such a well-written relationship, and so this moment at the end really hits fantastic.
They come back to the clan, they clear Yellowfang's name. And after this mission, Blue Star calls Firepaw and Greypaw and gives them their warrior names. They've earned it. They've proven their worth and their value in the clan. And so Firepaw's given the name Fireheart, and Greypaw's given the name Greystripe, and from here on, they're fully fledged warriors, which is so exciting. Such a great way to like cap this book with just this whole book being their journey as apprentices, navigating all this conflict, and now they're they're big players now.
I do want to add at some point, like in this, Tigerclaw is like, but what happened to Ravenpaw? Like implying like he's being a traitorous little bastard, and
where
like
did he
he's
go?
dead.
Yeah, we watched him die.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's such a shame. I always liked him. Just immediately.
So funny. Terrible actor. And then it ends with them all, reveling. But how exactly does it? Tigerclaw is doing something shady, and Firepaw is like, I've still got to fucking tell Blue Star about this. And then the book's just over.
Well, Fireheart now has to sleep in the warriors part of the camp, and so he knows
Right.
Tigerclaw is watching him.
Yeah, I think Tigerclaw knows that they're lying about Ravenpaw, because he comes in and he says, "Don't think you can outwit me, kitty pet. Be careful what you tell Blue Star."
Right. Oh, that's such a menacing moment.
Really great.
It's the first time in a
final
long
line from
time.
this character.
First time in a long time that somebody has called him kitty pet, and it just really reveals like what's been going on under the surface the whole time. Like looking back, you're like, wow, he is such a menace. He's thought he's a kitty pet this whole time,
Yeah,
Really
everyone else
great.
has fully accepted him, while Tigerclaw is still being very kitty petist, if you will.
Yeah.
He does not let go of that stuff, and I presume he will continue to not let go of the fact that Yellowfang is a Shadow Clan warrior. Like, he does not give up on his enemies easily.
Yeah, it seems like the most obvious thing is that he's gunning for the role of clan leader. He wants those 9 lives or whatever comes with it, but he's scared of the Moonstone because he's a bad cat. He's not a good cat, and he
But my
knows that
question
he
is,
might get punished.
StarClan will not look
What does he
favorably.
want after that?
I don't know.
Like, once he gets the power, what's the point?
Yeah, it's
Maybe he wants to do
it's
what
mysterious.
Broken Star's doing. It's so mysterious. It's wild. I just did not expect to be so excited to read the second book.
Me too.
I'm like,
probably gonna start it tonight because I'm so excited.
me too.
I was so excited we finally got to this recording because I'm like, I can finally read the second book.
I asked
Let me tell
the
you,
two
audience.
of them a week ago if I could get a head start on the book, and they were like, no. Like, okay.
Okay, I don't know about other people, but if I'm reading a series like too quickly in a row, I get details mixed up.
No, that's
of
fair.
The series is. And we're already getting stuff mixed up in the first book itself, so I just wanted to make sure we could talk about it with the clearest mind possible.
We'll try to be a little bit more concise and organized next time. We have been recording for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you all for sticking with this. We will say, highly recommend Warrior Cats Book 1 Into the Wild.
Hell
So
yeah.
true.
Yeah. If you were
If you
never a
didn't like
fan, you were a fan and you want to get back into it, I recommend it.
If you enjoyed the 3-hour summary, you'll probably just like the book itself.
Yeah, guess what? It's way better when it's not just 3 bozos talking about
I'm
it.
sure there's a lot of like smaller details and character interactions that like make some of these big climaxes and conflicts even better. That we just skipped over
sure.
because we could talk about this book for a full day, but.
Yeah, and the writing voice itself is also quite interesting. It falls into some pit traps of like losing your mind with how many times you hear the word claw and paw and everything. But other than that, other than those quirks of how the world is written, like the voice is interesting and well done and unique amongst young adult books. Because this is like a little bit younger, I'd say, than your average Rick Riordan or HarperCollins.
Yeah.
It's for somebody a little bit younger than that, but it's still made so interesting.
I'm like, I think it is still technically under the guise of children's literature because children's literature is from the ages of like 0 to 14.
Yeah.
It's like elementary school and middle school, so it is still children's lit, but it is definitely intended for the older part of that.
Or really intense, like 6-year-old. Who's like, yeah, death doesn't bother me.
I'm fine with the fact that there's 4 deaths in the first book. Who cares?
Yeah.
I like dogs more anyway.
If there were 4 dog
It's way
deaths,
easier to
I'd
kill
be
off a
putting
cat.
this thing down.
God forbid a horse dies, but I know my girl Victoria would never do that to me.
If a horse dies in this series, I'm putting it down. I'm retiring. This is the end of the podcast for me.
So thank you all for listening.
Oh, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. This has
Thank
been,
you two thanks for inviting us, Jaron.
This has been such
thank
a
you.
fun, as just like planning and thinking about this, coming up with the name of the podcast and the art and like our roles in the show, and it's all been such a delight, and I'm so glad to finally see this passion project come to fruition, because I love stuff like this, and I love committing to really big stupid projects like this. So
Yeah. I love anything that can convince me to read a series of books. Love it.
I love getting into projects that we're going to be committed to for at least like 7-8 years.
Yeah. If we want to do one of these a month, which is the plan, by the way, this is going to be a long
we'll
project.
see. I think we're gonna record a
We'll see.
handful of these in bunches, and then we'll see how often we release them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose we want to plug anything we're doing. I'm on Twitch, Jaron D Ratman. I do all kinds of things. Right now, I've committed another big dumb stupid project I've committed to is playing through every single generation of Pokemon, with the self-imposed rule set of making a tier list and then playing based on the rankings of the tier list. Hopefully by the time this comes out, I might be done with the second generation of games. If not, those are also pretty long for Pokemon games. But I also do, I just finished playing Pac-Man World. I do whatever I feel like playing.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite game, Pac-Man
Whatever
World.
I feel like playing, whenever I feel like streaming, I do it. And it's a good time. So if you want to stop by, then stop by. Mitchell?
I'm online, generally speaking. I used to stream a lot. I'm trying to get back into it. So if you want to shoot me a follow, that's fine. I'm at Resolved Poem on Twitch. And you can find me online most places at Resolved Poem. Toasty?
So I do a bunch of different stuff. I'm a streamer, VTuber, artist, YouTuber. On YouTube and Twitch, I'm at A Little Bit Toasty. And on every other platform, I'm at Itty Bitty Toasty. Like Itty Bitty Titty Committee, but not that. So if you want to shoot me a follow there, feel free. On my Twitch, I play video games mainly and just yap for 5 hours. And on my YouTube, I do tutorials and unboxing videos, if anybody wants to watch those.
Who doesn't?
Love unboxing videos.
Nice. Is that everything?
Yeah, if that's all we have to
think
say, then how do we want to wrap this
Should we
up?
make up a sign-off?
Yeah.
Let's make up a sign-off and then hate it and never do it again.
Oh, hey, if you have any friends who are into Warriors, and you think that they'd enjoy
tell 'em.
a bunch of idiots rambling about it, send them the show. Whoever
Yeah.
you
Force
can...
your friends to listen to this podcast in your car.
Yeah.
If you've got
what we're
advice
telling you
for
to
how
do.
to make this even more Warrior Cats themed, let us know. Shoot us some emails, shoot us some
Or
some
even
some
if just
DMs.
general podcasting advice, because we're all new to this.
Yeah, this is our
We
first
know
time.
nothing about...
Be very harsh.
anything.
Do not be easy
Yeah.
on us.
No, I'm not reading those emails.
I'll read
I'll
those.
read them,
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
read them.
put it in
We'll
the screen
tagline,
those
please.
emails, and we'll send all the nice ones to Toasty.
Yeah. All the ones that say, Toasty sounds so sweet. Yeah. See you at the next full moon, cats.
Until the next
exactly.
full moon.
Until the next full moon.
This has been Stars in the Making.
I love that name implies that we're about to die.
Oh, I was thinking like we're gonna become leaders, not that we're gonna die. Like we are.
Yo, fucking rip us.
I see. I get it. Oh, right.
Once again, thank you guys all so much for listening to our silly little project that we're starting. If you enjoyed it, feel free to hit us up at our Gmail. That's warriorspod, PAWD, @gmail.com. If you got any compliments, comments, suggestions, feedback, don't be mean. If you're mean, I'll block you. I'll read it and laugh, and you'll never email us again. Or you can find us on Twitter at Stars in the Making. That's all I have for you, pretty much. But don't forget, you can tune into our other podcast where we're going to be taste testing different rodents to see how they are. Delicious fresh kill. Until next moon.